Hey guys, Heavy Arms 45 here. Now, we have Ichigo Kurosaki versus Yusuke Urameshi. The Soul Reaper versus the Spirit Detective. Both of them police over souls. The Hollows on one side versus demons on the other side. Both of them a threat to the human world. But each one of them gets to basically train and fight and learn how to be a better fighter at what they're doing. Like always, I'll go ahead and say what I think. I don't think that these two would fight each other, even though Yusuke was a brawler back when he was alive, and is still a brawler after. It's not a. He's not someone who would just fight just anybody. A lot of times, you would see people basically try and fight him, like Kurobaru would try and fight him, but it wasn't. A lot of people feared him, but unless you were trying to pick on him, a lot of times Yusuke wouldn't try and mess with you unless you try to mess with Kagome, not Kagome. I forgot his girl's name, but unless you mess with her, he really didn't do anything to you. So after he became a spirit detective, he was all about trying to basically take care of them, and he did that a lot. You're talking about all the times when he first went against Hiei and Kurama, then he went after the Toguro brothers, then he goes after Sensui. Then he gets into the demon tournament. He's always been someone who was a fighter. But on the other side, Ichigo, unless he's trying to hurt someone innocent, Ichigo is literally a defender of people. Whether you're a weak hollow, a human, or just a regular spirit. If you're someone who seems to be helpless, Ichigo's someone that's willing to help. So I don't see them two, if this was just in a regular situation, fighting each other. They can fight, don't get me wrong, but if like just happenstance, I don't see them running into each other trying to brawl. That being said, let's look at what each one of them have. Both of them, if you look at them, do have their, I would consider their not God mode, but their super modes, I'll say. Because Yusuke has his bloodline ability that basically lets his grandfather or one of the old demons be able to take control, strengthen him more. And Ichigo has his Wizard form, which is where he takes control of his hollow powers and basically uses them to fight. And looking at this, it seems somewhat of a one-sided fight in a way. And I feel like I'm not going to flip-flop over this, but it's possible. But I would want to say that the winner would be Ichigo. And don't get me wrong, Ichigo, the reason I would say Ichigo is because Ichigo has so many things in his bag. When you look at Ichigo, he has his hollow form that he basically has one that he has to control, and one which is his berserk mode, kind of like what Naruto had. He has his. Then besides him having that, he also has his powers from being a Soul Reaper. He has his powers of being a Quincy. Oh, probably shouldn't have said nothing about that. Oh well, because it's been years since that part of the manga came out, and it still kind of upsets a couple people. he has all these powers that they've kind of like put into him that basically makes him not a waste of a character, but it doesn't make him overpowered. But it has that basically he gets whatever he needs for the time to make him a little bit better. You know, the bound, the well, not bound, but he has he's gained all these different powers because he's lost something else. He's been able to get something else. Then you have to go back to his Bonkai, increases his speed and his power. His Tensho attack, which is a long distance attack, which is questionable if it is stronger or about the same level as Yusuke's abilities. Because Yusuke's abilities that we know of is he has the spirit gun, he has the spirit shotgun, and those are his bread and butter. A lot of times, besides his berserk mode, those are the two moves that he used more than anything else. I would love to say Yusuke will win, but I'd have to give it to Ichigo for the fact of, like I said, he has all these powers that, as a character, I feel like weren't really tapped into. Even when you say that he was going against the Quincy King, a lot of his powers weren't tapped into. Mostly because time constraints, and the manga writer was just tired of hearing them saying that, hey, we need to speed this up. So he sped up the fast he could and kind of trashed the end of it. But the potential that Ichigo shows in there shows I want to say, greater potential than what I would see from Yusuke. Yes, he's supposed to be one of the most, like, the bloodline to one of the most powerful demons there was. I think there was 3 demon kings, and he technically beat one of them. So, but it's not because it's just their fighting styles are different. Because Ichigo is using his sword, he has a little bit more reach on Yusuke than what Yusuke would be able to do with him. Yusuke could try to use a spirit gun against him, but if I remember correctly, Yusuke is somewhat limited on how many times he can use it a good amount of times, but even if he uses it to the full amounts that he has, after that his spirit energy drains and he starts dealing with life energy, which literally could kill him if he used too much of it. While Ichigo has more of, he can do the Tensho attack several times, and even if he runs out of being able to do that, then he has the untapped powers that he has from his hollow powers. Then if that doesn't work, it's like dealing with Ichigo, you have a lot of safeguards that like break down, and once this one break down, there's another one that comes in, and another one comes in, and another one comes in. The only real restriction that they've shown to Ichigo's powers is that he is basically, since the Quincy inside him is somewhat fighting against him a lot of times, it's not letting out all of his powers. So it's kind of like a funnel that's seeping out some of the powers that he could have. Speed wise, I could go into more details. Like I was about to say, speed wise, Ichigo knows the flash step. Yusuke has like a lot of spiritual energy focus to where he has a good defense. Plus, with him being a not baller, but brawler, he's able to take a good amount of damage. But at the same time, we can say the same thing about Ichigo. They both can take a lot of damage. But when it comes to reach, and area effect of attacks, and if either one of them lets their other side, like if Yusuke let his demon side take over, sure, he's devastating. But then we have, I want to say, a little bit more maniacal and chaotic nature when it comes to Ichigo's hollow form. Because if it ever takes over, because it's just waiting for that moment when Ichigo just goes ahead and loses. And when he loses, there goes the hollow in him, ready to go ahead and attack. And we saw what he could do when he went against Byakuya. When Byakuya was fighting him and Ichigo lost control, the attacks that that Ichigo's hollow form was doing was so chaotic that he was unpredictable in a way. He did moves that Ichigo didn't even think about doing. And he proudly would tell Ichigo that he was the first one to do the Tekyo Tensho. I think that's the way you say it. And he's right, but still that attack goes off in somewhat of a wave versus the only thing that, unless Yusuke's spiritual energy could block it, that damage done from that is a good amount. And it, like I said, the only attack that basically could cancel out that I can see that Yusuke has is probably the spirit shotgun. The spirit gun is a very powerful weapon, but it's a very pinpoint accuracy type weapon. You have to be able to see the target that you're trying to hit, and it hits straight there. So if you're wanting just a quick shot, it works fine. But I don't see it working against Ichigo. At present, these are all the versus battles that I had set up. I'm still trying to find one. I had one for Vash Stampede that I haven't done yet. I haven't figured out who's a good person for Vash to go against, because as you see this was kind of lopsided because you had sword versus fist, but they were supposed to be spirit attack, so I thought it would be interesting. So I'm going to look and see if I can find another gunner that will be good for Vash Stampede to go against. But with that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed this. If you have any ideas of who you like to have on here to go against each other, I'll be happy to hear them. I got nothing but love for y'all. And I'll catch y'all later.